Today we're driving through Portland, Oregon, and we are heading out to Eastern Oregon to round out an incredible Oregon trip with a few days of camping in the Wallowa-Whitman National Forest. We're hoping to see a lot of birds here while we're camping over 2 nights. But above all other birds, we have one main target that we're going to spend the most amount of time looking for because it is an iconic bird, the great gray owl. Come join us on the stakeout and the camping adventure overall. What's up, everyone? Shout out to my friend Gabe for this stool, but welcome to another adventure that I am extremely excited about. We're in Eastern Oregon in this national forest, the Wallowa-Whitman National Forest, camping for 2 days and looking for birds. I am so pumped up for this because our main target is the great gray owl. One of the most iconic species in North America, the photographer's dream. Birders love seeing this thing. It is a huge bird with a very, very distinguished look compared to any other species. Come along with me on this journey, enjoy this camping trip, and enjoy the birds that we see. While we were super pumped up to get out and start searching for this owl, we needed to set up home base for the whole rest of the trip. We got all of our tents ready for sleeping and explored the area a little bit. There were some very nice meadows and good trees around, and there was certainly a little bit of bird activity. But once we got set up, we hit the road. Now these are all forest roads back here, all gravel. Honestly in pretty decent condition for a forest road, not too bumpy, but we still drove as slow as possible because we were scanning everywhere for owls. One of the first birds we crossed paths with, I believe, is a bluebird species. It's hard to tell in the shadow here, but it looks like a female bluebird with a little slight orange wash and tints of blue on it. There are plenty of finches around, lots of Cassin's finches, which was very cool.
That's not a pig.
I believe this is the first one for us within Oregon.
This one close to us is not. Great looks of the chipping right now. It just popped up on the end of the log.
Our noisiest and one of our most common species from the weekend was the chipping sparrow, calling and just ever so present, making itself known with that long, trill chipping call.
Best I've ever had a compliment.
Really good looks at a flock of crossbill in the dip of the road here drinking some water. Really cool species with that cross beak that's used to pry open pine cones for food.
You guys. Okay, you guys got your shots? Ooh, there's a lot of birds on that dead tree over there.
Well, we've just been driving these forest roads back here, seeing if we can get lucky and see a great gray on a branch roosting. It is getting closer though to their hunting time. So our chances of seeing these birds are gonna go up as it gets later because they're coming out to hunt, they'll be more active, we'll hope we'll see one flying or perching up and looking at some rodents or something.
Not knowing exactly where to look, we were exploring everywhere and we went deep down this particular branch of the forest road and we actually ended up coming out near a farm, which was not great. We wanted to stay near the forest, but we got some cool looks at a nest of a bald eagle. So it was still pretty worth it in that sense. Always cool when you can see a bald eagle, especially one on a nest like this. There were plenty of western meadowlarks singing and just around in the fading sunlight, that's for sure. But we weren't here for western meadowlarks, we wanted a great gray owl. However, the only bird of prey to round out the evening that we saw was this American kestrel. As dusk came and went, we lost our sunlight, and our stomachs were grumbling, so we returned back to camp and got a start on some dinner. Camp food is one of my favorite parts about camping. Of course, if I ever end up seeing a great gray owl in this video, that will quickly become my favorite part. Until that happens, camp food has the #1 spot. Something about being camping just makes food, as crappy as the food is, taste that much better. I don't know what is behind the science there, but it is so fun just to hang around, cook something on a fire, and have a good meal.
It's done. Come on, catch. No, it's not hot. It's not hot. That's yours.
As always, camping food usually hits, especially after an unsuccessful long great grill. Holy grail. As always, camping food always hits even after an unsuccessful great gray hunt. But we have lots more chances to look for them, so I will see you tomorrow. My vlogging lens, I think this is gonna look nice.
Oh my god, guys, I took the biggest today.
It is 5:22 right now, quite early, and we are awake to go look for owls. We're about to head out here in a sec. I slept decent last night, but there's a pack of coyotes that came through camp and were apparently keeping Jordan and Ricky up. I heard things walking around. I didn't hear them yipping like they said. I thankfully was able to get some sleep. We're definitely gonna take a nap after this dawn adventure though. But let's go find some owls.
We once again drove the forest roads looking for any sign of owls. We weren't seeing much outside of the birds we had already come across on this trip, mainly red crossbill. Now this particular bird is yellow because it is the female, not the male. It is still, however, a red crossbill, even though it is not red itself. One new bird we did get was a Clark's nutcracker. I believe this was a lifer for Ricky, which is awesome.
All right, it is now 8:52. We've basically been looking straight since 5:30 this morning. We took a short break to stop back at the campsite and change our plans. Qasim and I headed down one road, and Jordan and Ricky went a different way. We figured splitting up will give our best chances of seeing one. We can spread out, cover more ground together, but it is almost 9 a.m. now, and we still haven't seen one. The faith is kind of dropping a bit. Morale is low, but we're gonna keep looking because we're here. We might as well, basically. So really hoping we can come across one soon. On the bright side, there's still a lot of birds around. There's been some meadowlarks singing. Got 4 Clark's nutcracker up in a tree. Saw a Canada goose randomly, which just felt so odd out in this forest. There's a few western bluebirds around, so definitely some good bird activity, just no great gray owl yet.
One of the prettiest birds we saw was this gorgeous male mountain bluebird. Fun fact, the feathers of a mountain bluebird don't actually contain blue pigment. The structure of them, however, scatters light, and the way it comes back to our eyes that we see appears that vibrant blue color. Super cool.
It just dropped. We've somewhat given up our search for the morning, so we came back to the campsite, and I just wanted to walk around the meadow behind our campsite to see if I could see anything. And although we haven't seen great gray owls, pretty cool moment right in front of me here is I've been watching this western bluebird collect like grasses and stuff and take it to the holes in this tree. I'm pretty sure they're nest building. Not sure if that's going to be their final nest that they'll actually lay eggs in, but I've been watching it go back and forth between the trees here into the ground to pick up stuff, and I've seen one go into the hole too. Pretty cool just to watch the start of the circle of life.
After many hours of birding, we took a well-deserved rest back at camp, refueled, and formulated our plan for the evening. Now, the evening is our most important time here because this was basically our second to last chance to see a great gray and our last evening camping here in Oregon before we had to go home to Utah. After so much time birding, we had scouted so many meadows to this point that we came up with a new thing that I am calling the plan. Let me talk you through what our thought process is here. So up until this point, we had been quite mobile, so we were switching it up and stationing people at certain meadows. Now, great gray owls hunt the meadows for rodents at dawn and dusk. At least that was what our belief was. So we figured our best chance now was that we had probably missed owls up until this point. So me, Ricky, and Qasim each stationed ourselves at a meadow, and Jordan took the truck going back and forth up and down the road to cover a bit of ground and then to check in with each of us. If any of us saw an owl, we could alert the rest of the crew and tell them to get over there as quickly as possible. We felt this was our best chance, so let's do this.
our faith at this point in seeing an owl is pretty low, honestly. In this location, they don't have dedicated nesting like platforms here anymore like they used to. They were built here specifically for them, but those don't exist anymore. It still is a suitable habitat for them here, so there's always a chance. We know some people who spotted some last year, but they might not have come back this year, so we will see what we come across. Give us your best wishes, and let's hope we see that owl. The bird chatter is really quieting down now. It is past 7 p.m. It is about to be dusk, which is prime hunting time for these birds. So if there's one in the area, I am hoping it comes out for us. Any of us, honestly, even if only one of us gets to see it, that would be a big win for the group. I'm so upset. We just had a pileated woodpecker fly over. I would have been the first to get it on camera. I had it in my viewfinder, in my lens, but I hit start and stop too quickly and it was shaky. There's no footage. Jordan was just wrapping up one of his rounds in the truck and he came over to Ricky and I to check in. I told him about the unfortunate circumstances with the pileated woodpecker and how disappointed I was, and then Jordan's phone rang. On the other end, we heard Qasim's frantic whispering, "Owl, owl, owl." When I say we sprinted to grab our gear and throw it into the car, we sprinted. We drove there as quick as possible and came across this. Through the tightest of windows and with quite bad light, we got our first looks at the amazing great gray owl. It sat just motionless for such a long time, and then it flew off of its perch towards the ground. It's hard to contain my breathing right now. You don't know how down we were, how hard we've worked to find this owl. We've driven miles at these backcountry forest roads, just hoping to get a glimpse, and even the brief views we got were just incredible. I'm like emotional right now. I can't believe it. There's just like so many things washing over me. Just like relief, excitement, awe. We're currently trying to relocate it. Those three are down there scoping it out. I moved up the hill a little bit just to see if I could get a better vantage of where it flew into. So we'd like to get some better videos of it. We're really hoping it'll come out into the open to hunt, but we'll see. We'll keep you posted. We sat there for a long time until our light was gone, and we actually were rewarded with one more look at the owl. It flew over the road over our heads, and I got one more brief glimpse of it on top of this tree before it was gone. And that was it. As it got darker, the bats came out and gave us some company. It didn't seem like we were going to see any more birds that day. I cannot believe it. I am now around the campfire yet again, but this time a more celebratory campfire than last night. We did it. We saw the great gray owl. That was incredible. One of the coolest moments I've had in birding. We just couldn't believe it that we finally did it after all that work, like I keep saying. That is going to conclude this incredible Oregon trip and this video out here camping in Eastern Oregon. Thank you as always for watching. I will see you in the next one. Happy birding.
Dude, we got Ricky setting up the celebratory sandwiches.
chocolate peanut
That'll
butter.
help.
Yeah, it will. It will.
And
Thank you, my guy.
I can't believe
a brew.
we found one, man.